Hey everyone, so this is part one of your fall semester exam review for 2024. I will be working through questions 1 through 6 on the review. The first couple are solving for X, what we learned in Unit 1 this year. If you haven't tried these problems first, you should really try them prior to watching this video. Give them a shot, try to solve for X, and then watch the video. Okay, so if you haven't done that yet, take a moment, pause the video, and try the first 3 questions. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, guys, is we're going to draw a line where the equal sign is. And anytime you have parentheses, we are going to multiply. So the left side will remain 7x minus 5. But we have parentheses on the right side that we need to handle. So 8 times 1x is 8x. And 8 times 3 is 24. This is usually where most students get stuck because they know that there's nothing that they can combine together that are like terms on the same side of the equal sign, but they're not sure what to do when they have x's on both sides. And the key there is that you need to eliminate one of those x's, either the 7x or the 8x. It doesn't really matter. So I'm going to eliminate the 8x by minusing it on both sides. Because 8x minus 8x is 0, so on the right side, all we have left is a positive 24. The minus 5 remains the same on the left, and 7x minus 8x is negative 1x. Now that we only have that x there remaining, our goal is to get that x isolated. So to get that x alone, we need to get rid of the minus 5 first by adding 5 to both sides, because that is the opposite of minus. So negative 5 plus positive 5 is 0, leaving us with just negative 1x on the left, and 24 plus 5 is 29. Now x is almost alone, but we still have that negative 1 in front, and our last step almost always is to divide. We are going to divide both sides by that negative 1. Because anything divided by itself is 1. So 1x is left on the left side, and 29 divided by negative 1 is negative 29. Now x is isolated and we have solved for x, and I'm circling my solution. Now on your test, you may have to either select the correct answer, multiple choice, or you may have to type your answer in. So make sure that you know how to solve, because on those problems where you have to type your answer in, there's no options for you to choose from. All right, let's look at number 2, solved similarly. I'm going to explain the steps as I solve them. As always, we start off with distribution and multiplying. Most things remained the same. The only things that changed is that we took the 3 and multiplied it to the 5x plus 4, and we got 15x plus 12. Now, we do have some things on the left side that we can combine together. Neither of these numbers have x's with them, and they're both on the left side, so we can combine them. The 15x will remain the same. 12 minus 20 is negative 8. The right side we cannot combine because the 13 has an x with it and the 4 does not. Now this looks very similar to problem number 1 where we have x's on both sides, so we need to eliminate one of them. So I'm going to eliminate the 13x by subtracting it. And if I subtract it on the right, I have subtracted on the left. So 15 minus 13 gave us 2x. Our next step to get rid of the minus 8 would be to add 8. The reason why we're getting rid of the minus 8 is because our goal, once again, remember, is to get x alone. So we had to get rid of the minus 8. I'm going to kind of come over here to the side to show you what's left. Let's see, we've got 2x on the left side, and negative 4 plus 8 is a positive 4. And then we divide both sides by 2. So x is 2. Now I'm going to go through number 3 pretty quickly because it's a very short equation. This is called a two-step equation because it is almost solved already. There's only 2 steps to it. So if our goal is to get x alone, we need to get rid of the minus 18 by adding 18. And you do it on the left side and the right side. Negative 18 and positive 18 add up to 0. And then the last step, of course, is to divide by negative 4. So x is negative 5. 20 divided by negative 4 is negative 5. Now, if you look at number 4, it is quite different because it's asking you to solve for y, and we have 2 variables. We have x and y. And if you didn't notice, this is actually standard form of a linear equation. And if it's asking you to solve for y, that really means we're trying to get y alone, and that the end result should look like y equals mx plus b, where y is isolated. So our goal here is to get y alone. Keep that in mind. So we need to get rid of that 3x by subtracting it on both sides. 3x minus 3x is 0, leaving us with 4y. Now, keep in mind that on the right side, the negative 18 does not have an x, and the negative 3 does, so we cannot combine them. The negative 3x will remain the same, and the negative 18 will also remain the same. They cannot be combined. And our last step would be to divide everything by 4 to get y alone. So our final answer, 4 cannot divide into 3, so it's going to remain a fraction 3/4, which is our slope. If you remember, the number in front of the x is slope. And then negative 18 divided by 4. 4 cannot divide evenly into 18, so it is going to remain a fraction, but it can be reduced to 9/2. So all of that was solving. There's so much solving, and you're not going to stop solving in any math class. Even in geometry next year, you're going to be solving for x a lot. Let's look at our last 2 questions on the front of the review, and they are on domain and range, which is another topic that you're going to see a lot of in future math classes. So keep that in mind. Now on the test, please remember to read the question. For instance, on this one, it's specifically asking for the domain. So let's look over here. Domain are the x's from left to right. So for us, let's see how far left the graph goes. Okay, the graph goes all the way to here, -4. And it goes all the way to the right, here to 2. So our graph goes from -4 to 2. So we can eliminate answer choices C and D. And if you didn't know, these, the g of x's, are the same thing as writing y. So these are actually ranges, not domains. Now, one other thing that people tend to forget is that with an open circle, we are going to use the less than symbol, and with a closed circle, we use less than or equal to. So the -4 should have the less than or equal to symbol. So it is answer choice B. Now let's look at range, which is number 6. Make sure you're always reading. Range are the y values from bottom to top. Okay, so this is the y-axis. So we're looking to see how low our graph goes. Let's go ahead and eliminate some answer choices, guys. These both say x. So we're not looking at the x's, only the y's. And remember, g of x is the same thing as y. So how low does our graph go? -3, all the way up to +4. And remember, at the -3, there is a closed dot, so less than or equal to. And at 4, there is an open dot, so less than. So that would be answer choice D. We're going to continue with some more domain and range in the next video. This was only questions 1 through 6. So keep in mind more videos are to come to go over your review. Study hard, guys, because remember, this is not just about reviewing for your semester exam. You also have a STAR test at the end of the year, and this is practice on all the things we've learned this semester. Okay? Have a great day, guys.